Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Frontal Access Podcast. I am your host, Steve Druso.
I'm Anthony Gonzalez.
Let's fucking get it. So, had quite the weekend. My buddy did the Blazing Challenge. Anthony did not, unfortunately.
They did not let me do boneless. I do not do boned.
And he does not like the bone-in chicken, which is perfectly valid, in my humble opinion. More meat with the boneless anyway. And then, so my buddy Joe goes and does the Blazing Challenge and passes it.
Minute and a half to spare.
With a minute and a half to spare. The dude was on some fucking God mode shit. I don't know what it was, but Joe's just a psychopath. And I think that's all it really needs to come down to. But besides eating really spicy wings, there was a UFC pay-per-view on top of all of that, and even though we thought it was shit, yet again, we became victims of our own judgment. It's saying, this has got to be a shit card. We're going to go to B-dubs for this one. And then it ends up being a fucking banger. I mean, it was a decision fest, don't get me wrong, but those decisions weren't really that boring, you know? It was, like, a lot of back and forth action. The only, like, I guess, lull point in the day would be, like, the last couple of rounds of, like, the Valentina and Manon Fiorot fight. But that was still a pretty damn good fight to begin with. Now, we were pretty much right when it came to the main card, except for we had hope in Jose Aldo, and Jose Aldo did not get it done. He actually got fucked on the entire
he almost
fight.
retired again, right?
And then he just retired again. So
like, my body isn't up for this anymore.
I mean, he's been doing it for fucking 20 fucking years. So I mean, I think man deserves a break. He should just go home, be with his wife, his kids, and just vibe for now. But yeah, so Aldo's gone. Anthony Smith is gone now. Dustin Poirier is soon to be gone. So, you know, we're going to see a lot of retirements this year. I think we might even see Wonder Boy retire this year at some point.
Oh, wow.
I think he'll retire at the end of the year. He'll do his yearly December fight, because he always fights in December for some reason. So he'll do his yearly December fight and probably lose, and then go out like that. I mean, I'm going to hope he doesn't lose, but, you know, I got to call a spade here, and Stephen Thompson ain't been doing so good lately. So,
I mean, he's been doing good for a long time of his career, so.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, just one of many retirements that we're gonna see this year. That's gonna be really sad. Oh, that was nice. That was nice and crispy. Gonna get a nice round of applause for that one. That was a good one. Oh, that was crispy.
From behind the mic, the crispiness can be felt. Thank you, do.
Yeah, so anyway, Pepsi hit us up. We are frontrowaccess15@gmail.com. We're going to market your product perfectly. Please send us a year's worth of, like, supply, if you can. Maybe 10 years worth if you're really up to it.
It'll just help keep the stocks on the podcast. So
yes.
It works for you, works for us.
If it works for you, it works for us. We'll even take some of the hard dues off your hands, too. We like drinking those things. So, we got a couple in the fridge door right now. Not this fridge, that fridge. And, this fridge just filled with just your normal run-of-the-mill green Mountain Dew.
Green gold there.
So yeah.
With the mountains on it.
With the mountains on it, which we fucking love that design. But back to the UFC pay-per-view that happened this weekend. That was actually a fucking banger. I want to first bring up the prelims, specifically Jazz Davicius, Malott, and Sterling. The ones that we really highlighted on this end. Navajo Sterling just did a dominant decision. Every round, no doubt about it, he won.
Honestly, I'd been expecting him to go for a finish. I had my money on finish for that guy.
But unfortunately, that's not what happened. Ivan Ursulin held in there and, you know, didn't get finished, so I guess shout out to him and the chin on him. And then Jazz Davicius just fucking steamrolled Jessica Andrade like she was like nothing.
We did not see that happening so quickly.
No, me neither. That's Jazz Davicius just fucking steamrolled through her like she wasn't a former champion or anything like that.
It honestly reminded me of your first fight, where once you get in there and then the bell rings, you just I'm just like, goddamn.
That's pretty much what happened. And then, you know, Jazz Davicius just probably had the performance of the night, I would say, next to the JDM in the main event.
Yeah.
So, next to JDM in the main event, but we'll go back to that. But that was like 2 minutes and 40 seconds into round number one. And mind you guys, Jessica Andrade is a grappler at base. So she submitted the grappler as a kickboxer. So, I mean, that's some next level MMA shit. So, I mean, Jazz Davicius for a title shot? Maybe? Maybe one more fight away?
Honestly, you could give it to her now or give her another fight, but
Mm-hmm.
she's definitely in contention right there.
Because I think like maybe top five next for her. But because we also had another flyweight actually shine above them all, Natalie Silva, which we'll get to her in a minute. She did an excellent job against the former champ. But so yeah, Jazz. I just wanted to talk a little bit about Jazz Davicius just fucking steamrolling Jessica Andrade. I was like, oh, it's done. That's it. And I forget, was it a fucking arm triangle that did it?
I think she tried, but I don't think it was what submitted.
I'll have to go look back at the clip and figure it out later. But I knew it was some kind of pretty good, like, slick submission, too. And she locked it up pretty fucking quick. Like, almost like no resistance, it seemed. I'm like, damn, Andrade. I thought you were going to put up a better fight than that.
Nope, she went in there, no breaks, just go!
Unless Jazz Davicius was just that girl that night, which she could have just been. She's in Canada. It's her home country, you know. She's a rising star that's just kept winning as of late, so probably had a little chip on her shoulder. I gotta beat this motherfucker in my hometown. So,
Such dominant fashion was not expected from us over here.
mm-hmm. Alright, that was wild. But enough about Jazz, though. We're looking forward to see what she does in the future. I say top 5 is in the near future for her.
Oh, yeah.
So, Mike Malott and Charles Raddick. Dude, Mike Malott just put the beating on him. We missed the featured prelim, unfortunately, but it did end in a round 2 knockout. And I remember looking back at the clip, and it was yeah, there type deal. So Mike Malott becomes the second Canadian to actually go home with the win today. Actually, I think every Canadian that at least I know of won. Yeah, Marc-Andre Barrault won with that round 1 knockout. Brad Katona got flatlined, but we already were kind of expecting that. But yeah, so the Canada actually did a pretty good job this time around and didn't choke like they usually do whenever there's something in Canada.
Nope, they were all told that the other team had the puck.
They were told that the other team has the puck. And there's nothing more dangerous than a Canadian that needs to get the puck back from another person. So,
They'll fight hell and high water for that shit.
indeed. Moving on to this extraordinary main card, though. Benoit Saint-Denis says, I'm still here, motherfucker. After, taking some pretty solid losses his past 2 times out. We believed in him here.
But the thing is, you gotta measure the worth by the competition.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it is tooth and nail up there in the higher rankings, and that speaks for itself quite more often than we highlight here.
Mm-hmm. Like, the depth of the lightweight division is just insane, man. Try getting through that top 10 alive. I'm not even going to just say the top 5, because it's more than the top 5. That entire top 10. Good luck getting past those motherfuckers. I can almost guarantee you, you're probably not. If you are, you're a very special person, and you need to be studied. But Benoit Saint-Denis got the round 2 submission. I think it was a rear naked choke, if I remember correctly. And I was in the middle of ordering a beer when it happened. So, I think it was a rear naked choke, though. Yeah, it was. Alright. And then, so, Benoit Saint-Denis, what do you think's next for him? Think he's going to go back to the top 10, maybe try to get up there again?
I think he should.
Mm-hmm. Let me look at the top 10 of lightweight right now. Since the rankings came out this past Monday, we can actually check that shit. Let's see. Lightweight. Let's see. In the top 10, we have Dan Hooker, we have Gamrot, we have Pimblett, we have Dariush, we have Renato Moicano, and, yeah. Then Benoit Saint-Denis has Michael Chandler right above him at rank number 12, which is insane. Michael Chandler has had quite the fall from grace as of late. And,
Greggy's still teasing him, too.
Yeah. And Faziev just had a war with Justin Gaethje, so I don't think he'll be back until probably the end of this year. Renato Moicano, I think, is fighting Beneil Dariush next. I think that got announced this week. So, that's not gonna happen. So, I don't know. Do you want to put Benoit Saint Denis against Fiziev? That might be that might be a good fight. Um, that actually might be. Because I don't know if he could take down someone like Gamrot yet. Or was it Gamrot and Dariush? I don't know. Dariush got a fight confirmed this week, which is nice because we haven't seen him since he got fucking head kicked by Charles Oliveira. And you just have not seen him since.
More news on Oliveira later.
Yes, a lot more news. We got some exciting news too after we're done getting over this fucking pay-per-view thing. But
there's gonna be quite a bit packed into this one, guys.
we had a lot of shit go down this week. Okay, Dariush is fighting Moicano. I was right. So, is Gamrot fighting? I don't know if Gamrot's fighting anytime soon. Let's see. I'll edit this part out.
I will say that one of the funniest moments that came from this Saturday was walking into Buffalo Wild Wings and saying, "Yeah, table for 11."
Yep, table for 11. That fucking poor hostess looked at us like, "Oh, give me 1 minute."
Are you serious? Yeah.
He probably should have called him.
Well, the thing was, I called them before to reserve a table, and they're like, "Oh, we don't do that." So
Damn.
I'm just supposed to show up. Like, yeah, we need 411. Just like, oh,
Yeah, so, I mean, okay, so Gamrot does have a fight. He's fighting Ludovic Klein on the 31st of this month.
Ooh,
So, that's going to
him later.
That's the Blanchfield and Barber card, which that's going to be a fucking banger. We'll do an episode on that next week. But, anyway, yeah, so I would say maybe he gets Fiziev and Benoit to go at it. Benoit doesn't usually fight all that frequently. He usually does,
he can also get, like, winner or loser.
That's true.
Come 2 weeks' time.
Who the fuck knows? But anyway, Benoit Saint Denis said, "I'm still here, bitch." And we're happy to see it, honestly, because I like Benoit. He's good. It's just, he doesn't, he had I think he got too much competition too early,
Yeah, the caliber he fought was kind of unfair to him, but you don't know that until you're there, because you got to see how they perform up there with those guys.
I mean, he did pretty good again that first round against Dustin. I mean, he won that round pretty solidly until getting flatlined in the second, but that's Dustin Poirier for you. Anyway, so moving on from that, though, we've got the surprising fight between Natalia Silva. Not really surprising, but really, really good fight between Natalia Silva and Alexa Grasso. Man, Alexa Grasso just looked so slow. She did not look so good. And Natalia Silva just looked like she had a fucking chip on her shoulder, ready to fucking go, wanting to kick everybody's ass.
You're fucking mint. Yes.
And then she went in there. I think she beat her in fucking every realm that you can in MMA. I don't think there was one realm of MMA that Alexa Grasso did better at than Natalia Silva.
Silva suffocated her. There was no point where Grasso looked like, you know what, she might have this.
No, there was never a point in time. That was a dominant ass decision. And, Alexa Grasso tough as nails, though. So
yeah, I was going to say, this also speaks to, how well Silva's camp was, because Grasso is not someone I'd want to fight either.
I mean, Grasso's tough as nails. She doesn't go away without a fight, that's for sure. So, but just, Natalia Silva was the better woman that night, and I don't know. That was also at flyweight. We have a couple of women's flyweight's been moving a little bit lately. I mean, we have Blanchfield and Barber. That's going down at the end of this month. I think that's more a number one contendership fight. But here's the thing: Natalia Silva just fucking beat the former champ. So, I mean, she's got a little hat in the race too. You know what I mean? So I don't really know where flyweight's gonna go from here. Assuming Whaley doesn't move up, which I don't think she is. There's no rumors on that yet. But I don't know. Do you think Natalia Silva just gets the title shot after having that kind of performance, or do you think Blanchfield and Barber is more?
Well, that also depends on how well Blanchfield Barber does. Like, if it's a slow match, like that other women match, which I won't speak of, where they were just hugging for 25 minutes, then why the fuck would I want to see them in in for a fucking title.
That's what I'm saying.
It all depends on how the next people perform when it comes to these.
So I guess maybe we're gonna have to take some time to see how everything pans out.
Mhm.
Maybe Silva gets the winner of that fight, and or maybe Silva just goes right for the title fight, and then Blanchfield and or Barber, whoever ends up winning that fight, will just have to wait. Maybe fight Jazdavicius next.
Yep.
So I mean, there's a lot of confusion going on.
So with the, I'd say by the end of the month, we should be in clearer waters with how that's gonna pan out.
Yeah, probably. But regardless, though, not taking anything away from Natalia Silva, you can easily get a title shot right from that performance. So I mean, she went out there and just owned that shit. She said, "This shit, mine,
I
motherfucker.
am here.
I am now. You were yesterday's news. Goodbye." And that was that fight. And I gotta say, I am anxiously awaiting Natalia Silva's next fight. See what she does next, because she pressed the fuck out of me with that fight. Next up, this was a sad one, obviously. Jose Aldo taking the L to Ayman Zahabi, and but and
See, I find it weird that you said that this was a sad one.
mhm.
Because, guys, this is me, new MMA man here, just got into this to help with this podcast, and it's fucking fun here over in MMA world.
Yeah,
But Aldo is a retired former champ that came back.
hmm
You know who I enjoyed watching?
Who?
Aldo.
hmm
You know who I didn't? Mr. 3C gotta take a deuce.
Triple C gotta go fucking take a shit real quick.
So I don't think this is a sad thing for Aldo because Aldo came, he had his moment. He said, "Guess what, guys? I got a few more in me, and I'm glad I was able to watch those when they happen."
hmm
Everyone has their time.
Yeah, and I mean, he had an excellent performance against his first fight back. Beat the piss out of this young kid, and then I mean, had a rough fight against I think it was I forget who he fought, but had a rough next couple of fights, and he simply said, this I can't take it anymore.
Yeah.
So
I
I'm
mean,
like, fair, dude.
yo, you, me, Quinn over there, Isaac who's not here. We don't get to say when these MMA fighters are done. They get to tell us when they're done, putting their body through hell for our enjoyment and for money.
And for money,
You can't forget that.
yeah, they do both. They're entertainers and they're just fighting. They're fighting for their families. And
Fucking get out on like an Old Spice commercial, have him set up for the rest of his life.
honest to God, he could. It's just he doesn't speak any English, but fuck it, maybe there's a good ad
Hey,
scene
put it
in
Mexico.
Brazil. Put it in fucking
The
put it in fucking
Spanish-speaking
Brazil.
countries. Let's get. They need spokespeople too.
hmm
So yeah, it's sad to see someone like Aldo go. I'm not gonna take this performance as something to look at when I think about how well Jose Aldo did and what he did for the MMA community, because honestly, he gave his best, which is all I want from these fighters, and he had come back after being out of the spotlight, after retiring for a bit. I think he was bored.
Yeah, honest to God, he was probably bored. He was probably like, eh.
And then he took like a punch or a knee. He's like, you know what? I don't think I want to do this anymore.
I mean, regardless, though, Jose Aldo remains the king of Rio, no matter what. So, thank you, Jose Aldo. I'd say there's a Hall of Fame spot for you, but you're already in there. So, thank you for everything you've done. Thanks for coming back. Thanks for giving us those last couple of runs, and good luck with life.
Good luck with the division for keeping up with the legend of Aldo.
hmm For real, two divisions got to keep up to the legend of Aldo now. He was at featherweight and bantamweight, so I mean,
So y'all gotta put in some work there.
good luck with that. Try holding down a fucking division for a decade, where you're the smaller guy in every fight. That's what Aldo did.
You're gonna need some help with that.
I mean, Volkanovski's great, man, and I would say he's beaten more competition than Aldo did, like tougher competition. But that's a discussion for a different day. I still think Volkanovski
Well,
is
especially when it comes to this, and my thoughts on the matter while we're having these two next to each other in the spotlight here is with MMA, it's a sport that develops more when more is added to it, because you got to find a counter for this. You got to find, what the next shoulder jab is from fucking Greg. You got to take into that account after it happens. So, as far as going forward, things are going to be more technical than just we punch and we see who's better
And
at
we
it.
see who's better at punching. Or we grapple and we see who's better at grappling.
There are different things to take into account when you're looking at stuff like guards, technique, forms, submissions, and so you can't really say that, Aldo wasn't gonna be as good as Volk. It's just they came at different times.
Yeah.
It's the nature of the beast there.
And that's just how it rolls. But regardless, though, moving into this co-main event, it was actually closer than I thought it was going to end up being. I shouldn't say closer than I thought. I knew this was going to be a tough fight, and I think I predicted that, and I barely went with Shevchenko. So, this was a back and forth type of bout. It seemed like Furo shined in probably the first few rounds. Like, she did her best work there.
I always see her shining best at the start.
Yeah.
Earlier.
And she's a fast starter. She's not much of a marathoner. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, but then you run into someone that like Shevchenko, who's a marathoner, who shines better in the last couple of rounds. So yeah, she got her beat up a little bit, rounds 1 and 2. But 3, 4, 5, man, that was all Shevchenko. And Shevchenko does what Shevchenko does best. She adapts.
Shevchenko.
She adapts to her opponent. And she's getting outstruck, she goes to the fucking legs. And she's getting out grappled, she gotta go to the striking. I mean, Valentina Shevchenko is just probably one of the greatest women to ever do it. I mean, obviously, the Lioness Amanda Nunes is always up there when it comes to the greatest woman of all time in MMA. But damn it, dude, if you ain't saying Amanda Nunes, you're saying Valentina Shevchenko. So, I mean, she's right there with her. And the fact that Valentina Shevchenko she's a bit older now. She's like 37 years old as of March 2025. So, she's 37 years old and she's still going out there and having like performances of a fucking lifetime. I mean, and still finding a way to win. Was it really close at the end? Yeah. I didn't know who was going to win at the end. That third round round 1 was a bit of a toss up. Round 3 was a bit of a toss up. So, but definitely round 1. Round 3 might have had more of a determined victor, but round 1 was definitely a toss-up round.
I felt very comfortable with Shevchenko there. Honestly, with Fiora, the thing is,
Fioro.
Mm-hmm. With Fioro, the thing is, like we said, she's she's a hare, which is someone who goes very, very quickly at the start.
Mm-hmm.
They're either gonna get ahead to get the lead, or they're going to make it so that they win early on.
Mm-hmm.
So, with Fiora, the later it gets, the more confident I am in the opponent to take the win. And with someone like Shevchenko, you got to keep in mind, been around the block before, and has plenty of fighter experience that they can call from in order to make the decision on how to take on their opponent.
Yeah, and it was fucking what a fight though. It was a good one. I wasn't too sure at the end of that round there, but then I was like, and then Shevchenko got the end still, and I'm like, all right, let's go. Got my bet on fucking UFC 5 in there, because I don't know if you guys play like the UFC 5 video game or not. I do. I was actually just playing it before we hopped on the cast.
Just won a championship.
I just won a championship, one of my created characters, and that game, you need to fuck. What was my point that I was gonna make? Oh yes, it actually follows the sport in real time. It shows you like it actually lets you bet like in-game currency on the fights to say who's gonna win, who's not gonna win, and you can get more in-game currency or lose your in-game currency. Now I have not spent a dime on UFC 5, so I'm not actually gambling at this point. I've earned all of that through doing the fight contracts. So, yeah, I mean, it was pretty fun. And I bet on Shevchenko to win by decision, and I hit that fucking bet. So, we're good there. But regardless, though, Valentina Shevchenko, nothing but ups for her. But where does Manny Fioro go from here? She's beating everybody else below her.
See, I don't know if you get an immediate rematch. I'd like seeing you come up against someone else who's also showing how well they're doing in the division. But I would love to see a rematch of this at some point down the road.
Yeah, a rematch between Shevchenko and Manon. Oh, that would cook. I don't think Manon's done yet. I think she's. It's not the first time, not the last time rather. She's gonna fight for a title. So I can already sense it.
See, a real big problem with UFC is especially when you have such a good candidate, like putting Volk's name in there for this specific thing, is when you've beaten your division, it is very hard for anyone to get justified to go for that title shot, especially after a loss. Even if the fight was a banger. Because who you gonna give the champ now? That's the real big problem. You're gonna give them the loser they just beat? No, that makes no sense.
It just doesn't. And I mean, she's already beaten both Blanchfield and Barber, so it's not like she can get the winner of that fight. Or the loser for that fight, for that matter. She already kicked both their asses. Maybe she fights Natalia Silva. Who the fuck knows? I mean, yeah, I don't know where Manon's gonna go from here, but I can for sure tell you that's not the last time she's fighting for a UFC title.
Yeah, we can say she's not going away.
Mm-hmm.
Because we would love to see her again because we like watching them. They're entertaining. We love to see what they're gonna do. As we both point out, it went to decision, and either one could have won it. Say she got lucky and did something around 1 or 2 that put her over, then we'd be having and new. It's just didn't pull it off this night. Anxiously anticipating what's going to happen next for you. Not sure where the championship is going to go.
I wouldn't say Manon's stock fell at all
Oh, no.
in that fight. Nah. If it did, it fell like a cent, and that's it.
Especially when it comes to a win by decision. Unless it's dominant fashion, then that means you took them there to their breaking point. It actually reminds me a lot of what we just saw with what's her face? Charlotte Flair.
Mm-hmm.
Now, obviously,
WWE.
scripted versus unscripted, but when she came out and she said, "I took her to her champion." That's what we like. I took the champion to her limit. That's what we like to see. We like to see these guys tested. We don't like seeing dominant fashion because then it makes it boring to watch. So that's why I don't think the stock fell at all for Fiorello because you took them there.
Yeah, it's true. And usually, if you don't get brutally fucking finished, you tend to be alright in the eyes of the MMA community. But the minute you do get brutally finished, they're like, washed up.
Maybe need more secret juice.
Fucking Paulo Costa. Oh, jeez. I don't even know if the man's fighting again. Hold on. I'm looking this shit up.
Need more secret juice.
I'm looking this shit up. Is Paulo Costa fighting again? I don't think he is. At least not yet. Oh my god, that's right. That was a part of the fucking fight announcement. He's fighting Roman Kopylov. I don't know. He's gonna need a lot of secret juice.
Can we just get the IV in?
We just might need to inject him with the secret juice right now. Because you're going up against Roman Kopylov. And,
that guy's scary.
That guy's scary.
That guy's very, very scary.
Extremely scary. And oh, jeez, that was a part of the fucking fight announcements that we got this fucking week. Anyway, moving on. To this main event. God damn it, this did not go how I thought it was gonna go at all, and I'm not upset about that. That was a fucking great fight. That's possibly fight of the year so far. I'm gonna be so real.
Oh, yeah.
Gaethje and Fiziev has been like my front runner, I guess, as of late. We're only not even halfway through the year yet, but Gaethje Fiziev has been like my front runner as of late. But god damn, bro, fucking Bilal Muhammad and Jack Della Maddalena went at it. Like, and I'm not even gonna say it was one guy was better than the other. They just happened. They just got in each other's faces and started swinging, and one guy was better at the end of it.
Yep.
Now, if you guys didn't pay attention, or you guys already know, you probably know. And
if you don't know, now you'll know.
We have an new Jack Della Maddalena pulled this shit out of his ass.
Yeah, y'all remember what I said just a second ago? When you have a champion and you don't want to see a dominant fashion because then it gets stale.
Mm-hmm.
We completely misjudged how this was going to go, and we are happy for that.
Yeah, for
we
real.
did not. We
We
did not see this.
we like everyone else, I would assume. Just thought 5 rounds, Bilal Muhammad hug fest. He wrestles his way to victory, and then we get Islam versus Ilya Taporia, right? Nope. This fight came in with some King Von energy, fucking armed and dangerous, and these motherfuckers just went at it. Neither guy had a pretty face after the fight was done. Both of them had their face bashed in. And these motherfuckers had the fucking fight of a lifetime. And JDM did better. He won 4 rounds to 1 on one judge's scorecard and 3 rounds to 2 on 2 of the other judges. But it was all unanimously for Jack Della Maddalena. Dude, who the fuck saw that? I didn't expect the guy that I watched on the Contender Series 2 fucking years ago would become a champion to this point. But the dude has paid his dues. He was at the right place at the right time. He got his title shot after Bilal has basically beaten everybody else in the top 5. And the number 1 contender, well, not anymore. Well, probably. I'm not sure. But Shavkat was on the injury, on the DL, on the disabled list. And Jack Della was like, well, looks like it's going to be me. And then he went out there and he outboxed him, and he stuffed a lot of Bilal's takedowns, which I have not seen a lot of people stuff Bilal's takedowns. Ask Leon Edwards. Leon Edwards got fucking ragdolled. Stephen Thompson got fucking ragdolled.
This is okay. I'm going to expand further on this and relate it to other stuff and whatnot. This is going to be a bango of a podcast. We still got a lot more after this. So, I don't watch the Contender Series, so I wasn't as invested in JDM and whatnot. But what this was, and what this championship entailed, especially, was we knew how 2 divisions would be set after this one. And this is actually the result we really wanted to happen, so we could get movement in those 2 divisions. Now, what I saw here, the reason why we wanted, it's not that we hate, is it? What's his name?
I don't know. I forgot. What the fuck's the name?
The fuck is his?
What the fuck's
It's
it?
right there.
Bilal Muhammad.
Bilal Muhammad. Yes,
Yep.
yes.
We forgot his name.
It's not that we don't like Bilal Muhammad. It's his style is a bit boring to watch. But Islam wouldn't move up a division with him as a champion because those 2 are buds. They train together. Now, I say this specifically because what I see here is a lot of what I want to see with Islam versus Poirier. And what I got from this is exactly what I wanted that match to entail. We saw a bunch of takedowns get stuffed that we didn't know would happen. Now, granted, when you think between the 2, you think Islam's a lot further along in his grappling takedown career than
Dustin Poirier.
I was going to say than Muhammad. Honestly.
Or Muhammad, yeah.
So, the fact that Poirier was able to do that for 4 rounds, except for the ankle pick, which we don't talk about, is what is what I love to see during that match. And we saw it with this. We saw it with Muhammad and Della Maddalena. We saw him stop the takedowns. We saw him upset the standing order that we thought we were going to get. We thought we were just going to get, a bunch of hug time between the 2 as a championship. We didn't get that. And that is what got JDM the victory, which is a lot of what I wanted to see when we went to Jersey.
And we did, for most of it, until that fucking ankle pick. God damn it, Islam. If you didn't fucking do that shit, we'd have and new. By split decision, albeit, but it would have still been and new.
So,
If you guys look at the judges' scorecards from UFC 302 in that main event, 2 out of the 3 judges had Poirier winning going into that 5th round. Tied going into that 5th round, at which Poirier was winning. But damn, bro. But this was a great fight, man. Bilal's lip is like permanently caved in now. He's got like a whole missing slit of
yeah. They fucking went hard, and that's what you want to see when people are going for the champion. You want to see them go out there, put on the performance of their life because this is their moment to make.
Because, to be honest, if JDM had lost in the fashion that we thought he was going to lose in, I can't guarantee you he would have gotten into a title picture again. Maybe he would have. He's still really young. He's still a good fighter. But, like, I don't know if he would have made it back up there, seeming as welterweight's becoming the new 155. It's very backlogged at the top now, with a lot of top-level competition. That 155 just... I mean, 155 still got our lovely old guard that we know and love, but
For how much longer?
for how much longer? I wouldn't say for much longer at all. We're already losing one member of it. So, I mean, when I saw that, I'm like, it's really it's a pretty top heavy division right now. I think 170 has become the new 155. I really do. But I kind of knew that going into this. I'm like, that old guard's gonna fade away at 155, but 170. Looking at all these young guys that are coming up, you have fucking Ian Gary in there.
You've also got to keep in mind what this does for 155 now.
Oh yeah.
Because this clears a lot of paths up.
And boy, we got some news about that. We're gonna head into it later on.
More news later.
We're gonna head into it later on, but I have to ask this one question though, Ant, because I was thinking about this the other day while I was in the shower, and
Were you enjoying the shower beer?
no shower beer. I did not bring the beer into the shower.
Missed opportunity.
Missed opportunity for sure. But I was thinking to myself, I was thinking about this fight, and I was like, did the hate get to Bilal Muhammad? I mean, obviously we all know the common gripe when it comes to Bilal Muhammad. He's boring. She's gonna lay on you for 25 minutes. Stuff like that. And I know in the build up to this fight, since I watch all the vignettes and I watch all the UFC embedded shit. During this build up, he was like, I don't know why you guys keep saying I'm just a wrestler. I'm not just a wrestler. He goes, I'm gonna go out there. I'm gonna show you that I can strike with this guy and I'm gonna beat him. I'm like, why would you feel like you have to prove yourself as a striker? Use what gets you the victory. But I honestly think the hate got to Bilal a little bit, and he wanted to put on an exciting fight, which he did, but it wasn't in his wheelhouse, and therefore he lost his title at the expense of the public. Do you share in that same thought?
So the thing is, and I go for this by a lot of metrics that I judge my life by. I am not them, and I'm not walking in their shoes, so I can't tell you what he was thinking. But I would hope that he was thinking that this was his best shot, you know?
Mhm.
Because what I don't agree with is conforming with the society definition on what you should or shouldn't be and all that shit.
Hell yeah.
I'm not like outspoken about things, but just do what you want to do. If it doesn't hurt anyone,
Mhm.
then you're fine doing it. If he felt like he wanted to stand in front of everyone and say, check it out, I boxed him, I didn't just wrestle him, put some respect on my name, that's his call to make. He had to decide that. And if it cost him his title, then that is not because the public got to him. That's because he wanted to prove something to himself.
I see what you're.
Because in that regards, you're already champion. You use one thing to get there, sure. Now, it's up to you to decide what you want to do with that.
I see what your point is. I just figured I'd bring that up because I was thinking about it. I was like, was he out there trying to be like the champion, like the
If so, then
people's
it's his own
champ?
fault. So
But I don't know. It's just because he was like, oh, I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna show you guys these Canelo hands. I'm like, Canelo hands where, bitch? I'm sorry, but uh, it was a good fight though. My fucking fight of the year so far, I would say.
most standout fight so far, yeah.
I out of everything, like I'm looking back. Let's take a look back at these these past fucking pay-per-views, huh? Let's see. Volkanovski and Diego Lopez was fun, but it was mostly Volk domination.
As expected.
Respected and very well received Volk domination, but and we're just going back at the pay-per-view main events. I mean, I'm trying to look at other things on here. There's a couple of good finishes on that card. UFC 313. That was Ankalaev destroys Alex Pereira, but Justin Gaethje puts a fucking banger on with Rafael Fiziev again. Let's see. Going back a little bit more. 312. Duplessis and Strickland was kind of boring. Can't lie. It was kind of boring, but it's It's Duplessis, and I thought based off their first fight, that'd be like their first fight, but their second fight was a lot less entertaining and a lot more Drakus heavy,
Well,
and
that's noteworthy.
less noteworthy. Um, and yeah, so I mean, as far as that's concerned, Adesanya and Imavov just fucking broke my heart. So that sucked. UFC 311, that was just Islam Makhachev domination. But Umar Nurmagomedov got absolutely destroyed by Marab. That was pretty fun to watch.
Yeah.
That was pretty fun to watch, even though it was fucking Marab that did it. But it is what it is. And yeah, nah, that's yeah, that's it. Yeah, for realsies. I think that's it. But yeah, that was UFC. That was the pay per view this weekend, guys. That was UFC 3. Goddamn it, 317? No, 316. But yeah, no, 315. Goddamn. Ah, Jesus Christ. That's what happens when you scroll back in a bunch of pay per view events and you lose your order.
Let me see if I can get another good one for you.
Not as good as the
Not
first
as
one,
crisp now.
but still not that bad. Not that bad. I give that one like an 8, maybe 7.
It's a 6, honestly. That first one was like a 9.
Yeah. Nothing really beats that one, man. But yeah, that was UFC 315, guys. Now coming up this weekend, we have Gilbert Burns and Michael Morales.
He will be there.
Gilbert Burns will be there. I think this is Gilbert Burns' last fight. He hasn't fought since getting knocked out by JDM 2 years ago, and he's had a lot of like medical problems as of late, and he has fucking 4 kids. So I think this might spell the end for good old Gilbert Burns. He's 38 years old. He's facing a 25-year-old who's undefeated. So that's pretty wild. Maybe Gilbert Burns does it. I mean, Gilbert Burns is always a dog. He always goes out there and fights his ass off, and we love
I
him
was gonna
for
say
it.
not the most unprecedented thing to happen if Burns does beat this guy, but either or, I don't want to see our fighters go through so much wear and tear that they can't live happily ever after.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad Aldo left.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad he came back.
I'm glad Poirier is leaving on his own terms. You know, but like retire from the sport, don't let the sport retire you.
Yep.
Type deal. So Gilbert Burns, I think maybe win or lose here. Especially, I think more likely with the loss, for sure. I think this might be Gilbert Burns' last fight. Even if he does win, he might just go out like that and be like, all right, I'm done, guys.
We don't need another Ferguson.
Mm-mm. Oh, God, no. You see, that's an example of getting retired by the sport.
I don't know, he only put one fucking glove down.
Mm-hmm.
Motherfucker. He couldn't even give us a goodbye.
Nope, he gave us a halfway goodbye and said live with it. Then got into this pyramid fucking money laundering
If
scheme.
we even know he was there. They could have been unlawfully using his license, which I'd hope, but I couldn't tell you if he would or wouldn't.
Yeah, but Tony Ferguson is an example of getting retired by the sport. We don't want that.
No.
Or Anthony Smith even is an example of getting retired by the sport. So I mean, you don't really want that. You want to retire from the sport.
Maybe we can do an overview on Ferguson's career in UFC. The rise, the fall, no GFL bullshit, just the career of Ferguson.
We
and
did.
The man who almost had it all.
We did. We did do a special on him. It was a good one too. I researched that one pretty heavily.
Yeah, but then didn't he have matches afterwards?
No, not after that one. After that one, I think maybe one more, and it was fucking Michael Chiesa, his last one.
This is kind of just my way of telling him to just stop.
Mm-hmm.
Just stop. Just stop.
Like just stop, man.
Just stop.
But anyway, that's this weekend. Then we have Blanchfield and Barber, which we've known about for a little while now. That's gonna be a fucking banger. More predictions on that to come. We have Merab Dvalishvili and Sean O'Malley going at it June 7th. So that's going to be a good one. Although, rest of the card, I think it's still being built. A couple notable fights on there. We have Johnny Walker's on there.
Pretty close to it to still be built.
Luque and Holland is on there. Gastelum and Pfeiffer's on there. So yeah, we got that. We have, and now it's time to go over some of these new fight announcements. We'll start with this one. Kamaru Usman's back, guys. Uh,
Yeah.
Kamaru Usman's back, and I also think this is his last fight. But I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong. But
See, when it comes to Usman, especially, um, taking into account the last couple things I've seen from him, is he lost the title, he lost the rematch, then commentator for
mm-hmm,
a long ass time, and then took a fight on short notice and gave a really good performance.
he really did.
So I mean, I'm not tired of seeing him,
Yeah, me neither.
but it's
Money.
okay to not come back after that. You've done a lot.
Yeah, I mean, his legacy's forever in stone. There is a place in the UFC Hall of Fame for my boy Kamaru, the Nigerian Nightmare Usman, for sure. As probably the second best welterweight to do it next to fucking GSP, man. He's definitely better than Tyron Woodley, I would say so. Even though Tyron Woodley did go on one hell of a run. A lot of people like to forget about the run that Tyron Woodley went on. Tyron Woodley went on a fucking run, guys. I know everybody remembers him for getting beat up by Colby Covington at the end of his career, but, like, before that, man, that dude was the guy. And of course, we always think about the Jake Paul shit when he got knocked out by him. But remember, before that, that dude was the man. He was the fucking guy. And
Yeah.
don't let these streets let you forget about that. Don't let the YouTuber ruin his legacy.
I was gonna say we all know that when it comes to fucking Jake, he just goes to retirement home. He's like, hey, you want some money? Come into the ring with me.
Okay. Then you get Mike Tyson. But anyway, that is a fun fight. Rose Namajunas and Miranda Maverick also on there. God damn, fucking Trevor Whitman's gonna be a busy man that night. He's just gonna be like, I'm just gonna stay here. Just let Kamara walk out. Because Rose is right before him. Anyway. Let's see. Another one. Guys, here's the Guys, most of UFC 317 has been announced to this point. We still got some fights coming on here. I see we're lacking some prelims here, but those are prelims. We'll see them happen. But UFC 317 is in the building, and it is going to be headlined by Ilya Taporia and Charles Oliveira for the vacant lightweight title. God damn it, guys. It's going to be a fucking banger. But here's the news. Islam, in light of JDM just beating Bilal Muhammad, has said, all right, I'm going up to 170. After saying 24 hours prior that he wouldn't vacate the 155 belt, vacates the 155 belt. I think he was forced. I'm going to be so real. I think Dana's like, nuh-uh, mm-mm. He got flashbacks to when Conor held up two divisions. So, he was like, no. And Dana White's still very much of the notion, no double champ status as of right now. You're only champ in one division, which, to be honest, being a champ is cool and all. DC did it. Conor McGregor did it. Amanda Nunes did it twice.
Whenever she felt.
Mm-hmm. I don't think it's a terrible thing. I think that saying you can only hold one belt isn't a bad thing. I mean, if you are an active fighter that can defend both belts, then by all means. But let's be honest, guys. If you win a belt in a new division, you're going to want to stay in that new division. I mean, yes, it's cool to be like, I'm the king of two divisions, but that also holds up a lot of people. MMA fighters don't fight all that often. Well, they do, but they also don't all at the same time. The champions usually fight maybe twice a year max.
Yeah.
So, like, it's like, I don't really care. I don't really mind that Dana's not doing the champ shit anymore. I mean, it's cool, and but nobody ever goes back down to defend the belts again. So why just hand people two belts? So I don't know. How do you feel about double champs right now?
So, a double champ status. That is when someone is the active champion in two divisions. Now, is that possible? Yes, of course. We've seen it. We've seen it done well. We've seen it done shitty. But is it possible? For sure, definitely. Do I like the concept? If you want to prove yourself here and there, go for it. What I know for sure is that these fighters, every single match they get might be their last due to a career-ending injury. And the problem with the double champ is that you can't really fight in two divisions actively and defend it in two divisions actively
Kind of hard.
because what's that? One fight each division a year at best.
That holds up divisions a lot.
And there's a lot of fighters in each division that have their own argument for going for a champ status. So, I don't like seeing it because it doesn't allow the division to move because these fighters can only fight every so often and each one might be their last. So I do believe that Islam vacating it is very nice. I do like that we're going to see Ilya versus Oliveira for that because both of them have arguments and cases to go for that championship.
Mm-hmm. And to be honest, this is an exciting fight. It really is. I mean, it's Charles Oliveira. We got Ilya Taporia. I see a lot of doom and gloom on TikTok right now and like Instagram and Twitter. Like, oh no, Taporia is about to chin Charles Oliveira. Are you forgetting who the fuck Charles Oliveira is? That's what I'm saying. Yes, he got knocked down against Dustin Poirier. Yes, he got knocked down against Justin Gaethje. But guess what? That motherfucker got back up. And guess what? He went on to choke them both out. So, are you guys forgetting who Charles Oliveira is? Did you not see him fucking walk down the powerhouse known as Michael Chandler? I'm just saying. I think a lot of people would be counting Oliveira out for this one. But, to be honest, is that really new? People count out Oliveira a lot.
He's forever the underdog even when he's there
Mm-hmm.
and gets stripped for being a half pound over.
Which is some bullshit. but, but yeah, so Charles Oliveira, Ilya Taporia. And plus, you don't know how Ilya's going to do at 155? You saw him chin featherweights. And notably, he chinned two of the best featherweights that are known for not getting chinned all that often. But, especially Max Holloway. But that's alright. I mean, that was a different division. There's a lot more weight being cut. He was a bit of a weight bully. Can't lie. Ilya Taporia was a bit of a weight bully. Cut a lot of weight to get to 145. So he had significant amount of power. Does that power transfer over? Or is it kind of on par with what Charles Oliveira has fought with before? Because to be honest, I have Ilya Taporia's punching power pretty much in the same rating as Dustin Poirier's or Justin Gaethje's. I'm gonna be so real. So, I think he just struggles with the volume aspect of it. The guy doesn't strike a lot quickly, but he's very good at head movement. He's very good with footwork, and he can box your face off. But then guess what? He isn't clueless when it gets to the ground. Keep in mind, guys, I always tell you this because you guys always think he's a fucking striker. He's not. This guy just has ungodly power. He is a grappler at heart. So, and he's going up against another grappler at heart. And Charles Oliveira has far more tools. He's got knees, he's got elbows, he's got kicks, he's got punches. Ilya Taporia just got punches. So, time to make an argument. Who has more versatility with strikes? It's Charles Oliveira. And he knows how to use, I've seen him land all of those strikes efficiently and perfectly. We've seen it against even Dustin Poirier and Justin Gaethje, but also, especially against fucking Michael Chandler. I think dude hit him with any strike you could hit him in the book. So, I mean, I gotta tell you, when it comes to the feet, both guys are forward, and I think Charles Oliveira has more tools that he can use more effectively. Is this an early prediction for Charles Oliveira? No. But am I telling you a case for Charles Oliveira? Yes. I don't know, Ant. What you thinking about the stand-up matchup between Topuria and Charles Oliveira? We'll go into grappling after.
So, Oliveira can definitely take hits. He's done it many a times, and I'm never going to count out Oliveira because Oliveira's really my guy. So I would say that as far as strength in hits, I give that to Ilya, but versatility and value would definitely go to Oliveira.
And what I've seen is Topuria, even though he went on to knock out Max Holloway, struggled with Max Holloway's volume in that first round before he got him in the second. So I would say, and if there's a person that can keep that pressure on and stay rather defensively sound, it's Charles. So, the only other person that I would say can stay defensively sound to keep that kind of pace would be, I mean, I'm going to sound biased as shit, but it's also kind of objectively true, Dustin Poirier. So, I mean, that's that's that matchup. I'm super excited for it. I think this is the match to make if Islam's going to leave the division. Both guys have been waiting on title shots for a while. Now, maybe not Ilya.
You skipped.
Mm.
You said we were going to do on the feet first.
Oh, yeah, then grappling. A grappling advantage, man, I've seen Ilya have more top pressure than I've seen, but his bottom game's pretty good, but not as good as Charles. Charles is crafty, but here's the thing. Charles also learned how to wrestle, guys. He's also learned how to take people down and hold top control. We saw him do that against a wrestler. Good old friggin' we saw him do that against Michael Chandler. Michael Chandler's a wrestler. He was known for the top pressure. He's known for the takedowns. Guess who was taking him down top pressuring? Charles Oliveira. So, I mean, but I still would give the top control and the grounded pound to Ilya. So, if Ilya is able to take him down, which is already hard to do, nobody really takes down Charles Oliveira, so I can't really tell you what Charles Oliveira's takedown defense is. I mean, yes, he got beat by Islam, but Islam didn't take him down. Islam knocked him down, then jumped on him, and then put in an arm triangle. So, I can't really tell you what his takedown defense is. I've seen his takedown offense, and it's pretty fucking good. And most of his takedowns usually come from clinches and body locks, a lot like Islam. But now I've seen him shoot out from the center and take people down. So, I mean, I think if you know how to take someone down, you probably know how to defend a takedown. So I'd say if Ilya's able to take him down and get on top, I would say Ilya would have the advantage there. But here's the thing. Charles Oliveira's crafty as shit, especially off his back. Seeming as that's jiu-jitsu's whole thing, is being off your back and having the most weapons from the bottom position. So, I mean, I think more of a submission threat is Charles Oliveira.
Yeah.
The submission threat, Charles Oliveira, but ground and pound and top pressure and control threat is Ilya.
Yeah. I would say if we're talking on the ground, Ilya's definitely got the ground and pound game, but Oliveira could always put you in a lock from anywhere.
Anywhere. You can overextend on one punch, and all of a sudden you're locked up in a Kimura, or he has hold of your arm. And god damn it, I am fucking shitting my pants if Charles Oliveira has a hold of my fucking arm. So, I am shitting myself right then and there. He don't even have to lock it up yet. Get me the fuck out of here! That's me. But nah, as far as the grappling matchup is concerned, also evenly matched. And both have their strengths and their weaknesses. So, guys, this is a closer fight than you think. Stop thinking Ilya Topuria is this absolute menace. He is an absolute menace. But
Correction, also taking all this into account, he was an absolute menace in featherweight. We do not know how he's going to do with more weight on him. We don't know if he's going to be as fast. We don't know if he's going to be slower. We don't know if that's going to let him be caught off guard. We don't know how he's going to perform in this division yet.
Plus, both him and Charles are going to be cutting from like the same natural weight, like 170-ish, 180-ish. So, I mean, if anything, they're going to be more evenly matched. So, I think Ilya Topuria, even though he was a wrecking machine at featherweight, he might be just at that upper echelon at lightweight, like the rest of that old guard there. So, like that same level of competition. Now, I'm not opposed to putting him in that level of competition at all. That's why I love this fight. But do we see a Charles Oliveira retirement? I don't think so. Regardless of this fight,
I feel like Oliveira's too hungry.
I think he's too hungry. I don't think he's going away anytime soon.
I'm also not sure if Oliveira knows anything else.
Yeah, this seems like his life. I mean,
eat, sleep, breathe, MMA.
Yes. So that's a exciting fight, and I'm so excited for it. It's gonna be a good one. I don't know when the 170 title is going to happen. That hasn't been confirmed yet, but we all know, without really knowing the official date of it, we all know what's happening. Islam is going to fight JDM at some point. And with the performance that JDM just put on against Bilal Muhammad, Islam might plus he's going a weight class up, and the weight class up is 15 pounds heavier.
I know how I feel about people training weight classes.
Islam at 170 is exciting, but it also comes with a lot of apprehension, a lot of questions, because we've seen him dominate 155, but just like Ilya Taporia was at 145, Islam's a bit of a weight bully. I'm gonna be so real. So he's a very big lightweight. So I don't know. It's gonna be a good fight though, right when it happens. And if JDM has that takedown defense that he had against Bilal, man, I'm just saying he might have a better chance than you might think. But another fight that got confirmed for this same pay-per-view was Alessandro Pantoja back on the proving ground again. I always say it with Alessandro Pantoja, he continues to impress me every single time he fights. Doesn't matter who it is. This guy, he goes in there, fights, has a fucking banger, and then dips. So to be honest, I'm a big Pantoja fan at this point, and he's facing my other favorite flyweight, Kai Kara France. Kai Kara France is coming off of a big win against the last title challenger, well, 2 title challengers ago. Steve Erceg. He knocked the piss out of him. He knocked the piss out of him. When I sent him sprinting, lad, he went across the fucking octagon the way he got knocked down. So, I think this is gonna be a good fight between Kara France and Pantoja. This isn't the first time they fought. I think this is the second time they have. But the last time they fought was way back. Way back when. And I believe it was Pantoja that won. But does that stay the same now? I don't know. To be honest, I don't really think so. Kai Kara France has been on a bit of a roll as of late, and it's something to prove. And I like seeing that. So man, what your feelings on the Kai Kara France and Pantoja fight that got confirmed?
Pantoja has never disappointed me. Not once. And I have the utmost faith in him. I really like Kai Kara France too. He's been around the block and shown his stuff. I am fans of both of these fighters.
Same.
Now, this is not going to be as big a buzz as we've seen from this division. That Moreno versus, what's it, 4 times in a row?
Figueiredo.
Figueroa Moreno. That was probably the biggest buzz I'd say this division will get.
For a while.
Yeah, for like 5 years.
Yeah, for a while. I don't think we're getting to that level again.
But that should not be overshadowing what Pantoja's been doing.
Pantoja's been killing it, dude.
He has. He's been fucking shit up and putting his name stamped on everything. Because he is a champion. And like I say, there's a difference between being there and there are levels to this. He is at the champion level. Kai Kara France can definitely fight there. When you get the championship, you get what,
30% better.
30% better is what we're told. What was his name? Fuck. We were just talking about him.
God damn it!
We just
name?
saw him at Buffalo Wild Wings.
What's the fucking name? Oh, I forgot the name. Bilal Muhammad. Bilal Muhammad. Got it.
Bilal Muhammad was just champion and lost it. So the thing is, whether you believe it or not, I believe that there's a significant improvement in one's game when you become championship, because that's confirmation of your skill, and now everyone else has to go up against that. But Kai Kara France is definitely a fighter who can fight on that level, and people need to start putting more respect on this division.
For real. Just because they're small doesn't mean they don't put good fights on, guys. They're 125 pounds and usually not breaking 6 feet, but that's alright. They put on some fucking bangers. That was a good one.
That was better.
That was a much better one. Not as good as the first one,
No, so that's probably
but better
7
than
and a
that
half.
fucking second. That was about a 7.5 for sure. Good job, Ant. But yeah, nah, Pantoja. Honest to God, I mean, obviously the greatest flyweight ever is Demetrius Johnson. That's just without a doubt. 11 title defenses, brother, brother. I don't think anybody's beaten it. And plus, he was still beating high level competition in the later half of his career. So I mean, guys, but if there's one name behind DJ that I would put, it's Pantoja. He's proved it to this point. Yes, we all know Moreno. Figueiredo was excellent, but here's the thing: they fucking hot potatoed that belt. Neither of them really held onto it for too long. And so I would say Pantoja is probably the second best flyweight ever. And I mean, I don't think anybody's touching DJ. That's for sure. That's tough shoes to fill right there. DJ's up there. He's on my goat list for sure. He's up there on the GOAT list. He's higher than Khabib on the GOAT list, for sure. I might even say he might be higher than Usman or fucking Tyron Woodley, too.
Khabib's probably going to get on the GOAT list for coaching.
Oh, for
so
sure.
Than fighting.
Oh, Jesus Christ. That dude coaches killers. Father Plan. Nothing beats a man who is motivated to do his father's will.
Or fight the bear again.
Or fight a bear again, Also got confirmed. Beneil Dariush back at it after getting knocked the fuck out last time out against Charles Oliveira. At least I think it was Oliveira. His last time out.
Happens to UFC fighters. Happened to Volk. I didn't think I'd see that.
Actually, nah. He got knocked out by Sarukian his last time out. That's right. I forgot about that fight.
That guy's also very scary.
Yeah, fuck, it's Sarukian. If he didn't get injured, man, I would have so wanted to see that Sarukian fucking Islam fight. It sucks we're never going to get it now. Unless Armin decides to move up, which I don't think he does. I think he's got his eyes locked on that 155 title.
I mean, you could still see it, depending on if Islam does well or doesn't and wants to come back.
This
you
is
don't
true.
count it out.
This is true, Ant. You are completely correct when it comes to that. But yeah, that's gonna be a pretty good fight, I would say. All right. I mean, Beneil Dariush needs to prove something at this point, man. He's been taking some pretty big L's lately. I mean, granted, he's losing to some top tier shit. Don't get me wrong, but Beneil's needs something to prove here, and he's facing Moicano, who's coming off of a title loss as of right now. So I think both guys are desperate to prove something. So I think that adds a little bit more stake to this because it's going to be like the future of both guys' careers. I mean, Beneil Dariush is 36, Renato Moicano is 35. They don't got much longer in the sport. So, and if they want to get back up with that title picture, they kind of need to win here. But as we see it right now, obviously, I didn't give any predictions for those title fights, but I am going to give one for this one. I do think Moicano beats him by like the slimmest of margins. I think it's going to be a tit for tat type war, but
are we currently going in order from this date forward? Like this is even later than the previous two.
Oh
fights?
No, this is on the same pay-per-view.
Okay.
Yeah, so the Ilya Taporia, Alessandro Pantoja main and co-main, Beneil Dariush and Renato Moicano is the featured fight.
Gotcha.
And then we also have, Jesus fuck. Yeah, this is a fucking stacked pay-per-view, guys. We're gonna go over all of them.
Yeah, we got this one, and then we got the fight confirmations we've also heard of this weekend, which we're also going into. Hence why we're gonna kill this fridge of dew.
Hell yeah. But yeah, so Beneil Dariush, Renato Moicano, I do see this playing out as a pretty good fight. To be honest, both these guys are like the right match for each other.
They're both very exciting to watch.
They're exciting to watch, and they're both like the same level of competition, I would say. Like, Beneil Dariush has always been up on that upper echelon. I see Renato Moicano there, too, but not quite at, like, that unbreakable old guard. You know what I mean? So, like, maybe, like, a peg, half a peg underneath that. But it's a fight at the end of the day. Anybody can win. So, Beneil Dariush and Renato Moicano, I see this going down pretty closely. And I see Moicano etching out a victory. Just barely. Just because Dariush hasn't fought in a bit. And Moicano, I think, wants to prove more that he's still got it. I don't know. What are your feelings on Dariush and Moicano here?
So what I love seeing are hungry MMA fighters that are trying to prove themselves. And this is that pop that I'm looking for. You know, this is exactly what I want to see in my matches. Unfortunately, I love them both. They're both really fun to watch, but I do got Moicano for this.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be by much. I think I think Dariush is going to give like the most valiant effort that he possibly can. Is this um is this his last? Is this his last dance, Dariush?
I would love to see more from him, but I won't get angry if he hangs up the gloves. It really depends.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like I said earlier, it's the fighter's choice on when they want to leave.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we don't even know, like, their weight cut could be absolute shit.
Mm-hmm.
It could fall on that, you know? We're not sure. We don't know how this match is going to end. It could be injury. We could be completely wrong, which we have been a couple times.
A few
In
times.
recent history, there was a pretty bad pay-per-view that we did not call very well. I think we got one right on it.
Yeah.
But hey,
Uh,
that's something you take into account when you make these predictions.
mm.
But I got Moicano for this. I don't see Benil retiring.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I don't think it's his last dance. I think he's got one. Think he's got a couple more left in him. I mean, he's fucking 36 years old. He can still go, and maybe the time off is what he fucking needed. Is what I'm saying. Because I mean, to be honest, losing to fucking Charles Oliveira in June, and then 6 months later getting knocked the fuck out by Sarukian, that's gonna take a toll on a motherfucker. That's gonna definitely take a toll on me if I'm Dariush. I'm gonna be like, yo, hold the fuck on. I'm gonna come back in a little while. Just give me a minute. Like Volkanovski. You know, he got knocked the fuck out by Islam. He got the fucked out by fucking Topuria and said, hold on, I'm gonna take a step back. And then he come back in and he fucks shit up. We could see I don't want to say Dariush of old because he's not gone yet, but we could see the Dariush of old in this fight. The Dariush that was a fight away from competing for a title. The Dariush that was supposed to fight Islam Makhachev on 2 different occasions for a number 1 contendership. Like, we could see the Dariush of old, the number 4 ranked lightweight in the world. So I'm like, it could very much be that, but I still got Moicano for now. That's very subject to change.
Yeah, this is a really close fight.
And plus, it's a fucking month and a half away, about a month and a half away. So this is June 28th. This is this is International Fight Week card. By the way, I forgot to mention that off the top. I probably should have, but this is International Fight Week. That's why it's so fucking stacked. But also, we have the flyweight title on the line between Cara France and Pantoja, right? And now we have a number 1 contendership right underneath it. Right, well, 2 fights beneath it. Brendan Royval and Manel Kape. I see no other way other than this is a number 1 contendership fight. Brendan Royval, like I said, it's not going to be his last time fighting for a title when he fought Pantoja. Not going to be his last time doing it when he fought, fuck. No, he didn't fight Moreno in a title match, but that's how he earned that's how he earned the Pantoja fight. As he beat Moreno. Yeah. So, like I said, guys, Brendan Royval wouldn't be the last time that he would fight for a title, and I still say that stands here. Manel Kape has been making some waves as of late. It's kind of the next big thing at flyweight right now, men's flyweight. But I think this fight, whoever wins gets the title. And if that means, and Pantoja obviously is willing to fucking fight anybody at this point. So I mean,
We love our active fighters.
even fighting a guy that's coming from Pride MMA. It was it Pride or was it Rise? It was Rise. Yeah, Pride was gone years ago. But yeah, even if it means fighting somebody from Rise.
Is that guy still in? Like, does he have a?
He's got no fight confirmed as of right now. At least not that I've seen.
I don't think he's got place, right? Like, he's not top 15.
I don't think so. It would be kind of stupid if he was.
Right.
But
they gave him a championship match right out of it. I mean, we do have our eyes on you for the next time you show up.
Kaya Sakura, man, he was. I mean, Pantoja was just that motherfucker that night. He was like, I'm about to shit on all of you guys.
He was just that guy. And like I always say, there's a difference between MMA and MMA UFC.
Mm-hmm. So, I think for Manel Kape and Royval, to be honest, I'm going to confidently say Royval. I think Royval's going to beat him.
I got Royval too,
and I think
but
you're gonna fight the winner.
Royval, I'm never gonna say Royval. It will take a lot for me to say he's in trouble.
Yeah, I mean that
Now,
dude's
a
dog.
definite fighter. This is definitely gonna be a fantastic fight, but I do see him winning.
I can confidently say Royval. I'm not gonna say by drastic finish or anything like that, but definitely I see him winning somehow. Maybe it's a finish, maybe it's a decision, but I see this being a good fight, and I see Royval winning and getting another shot at that title. You know, maybe he needs to go through one more hoop, but to be honest, I don't think he really needs to go through another hoop to get back to that title picture. And you never know. Maybe Royval does his homework the second time around and he beats Pantoja. He does the impossible and beats Pantoja. But first, Cara France got to beat him, or try to beat him at least. So, and Cara France and Royval, that's an intriguing fight too. I don't think that's happened before. If it did, it happened years ago and I didn't see it. But both guys have been around for quite some time now. So that being said, moving on to the middleweights. I think this is gonna start the main card. I don't know. That's not really divided between prelims and main card right now because it's still being built.
Mhm.
It's June 28th, so it's a little bit out there. But the middleweights, Paulo, Secret Juice Costa. I know it's the eraser, but dude, he should just change it to Secret Juice at this point. It should be Paulo Secret Juice Costa instead of Paulo the Eraser Costa. But that's just me. I mean, I think that'd be more fan service than anything else. But regardless, though, he's facing Roman Kopylov, and it's probably gonna get brutally fucked on.
Yeah, Kopylov is a scary, scary individual.
We saw him get walked down by Sean Strickland in a very boring co-main event,
That was not that entertaining.
and very boring co-main event. Just Strickland front kick fest and jabbing, jabbing his way to victory. Was not a very exciting fight. And then Paulo Costa got in a little bit of trouble at the end of that fifth round there. Was it a 5-round co-main? I forget.
I feel like it was. I feel like it was, yeah.
Yeah, that's a big enough fight to be a fucking 5-round co-main. Yeah, in a really boring Sean Strickland matchup, he got walked down. And Sean Strickland is a far less diverse, far less versatile, and far less fast striker than Roman Kopylov. So,
But one thing we know for sure, Strickland goes in there with the intent to kill.
all the time. And continues to walk.
That's his thing. He wants to kill you.
I'm gonna kill you. I'm just walking. We're gonna go to war for you guys. Yeah, war. Anyway, Paulo, you haven't been doing too good as of late. And I hate to say it, your last win was in 2022, when you beat fucking old ass Luke Rockhold. He's coming off a 3-year layoff. So, Costa, I hate to say it, but I think you're fucked here, buddy. Roman Kopylov is a far more dangerous striker and more of a ground threat than Sean Strickland. And based off of your fight with Sean Strickland, you couldn't hold that up for shit. So, I mean, I don't see how somebody could say Paulo Costa wins this fight. I mean, if you say Paulo Costa wins that fight, I respect it, honest to God, because that just means you're a true fan, and I love that. So, I mean, but I don't see a world where Roman Kopylov gets beat by Paulo Costa. Of course, I could be counting my chickens before they hatch. I've been known to do it before. So, I don't know, man. What you feeling about the match with the middleweights?
I'm trying and failing to see a way that Paul Costa wins this.
I mean, maybe he gets that one lucky overhand. Paulo Costa do got the smoke. Don't get me wrong, the dude's strong. But,
Like, if I can think of one way that Costa could win, I've already thought of 8 ways that
he could lose.
Kopylov's winning.
Yeah, like, I think the only way that he could truly win here is if he just lands a perfectly timed overhand right. Because, I mean, like I just said, Paulo Costa's got the smoke. Don't get me wrong, he's got that smoke. This man was undefeated until running into Israel Adesanya. Was known for just putting people on their ass. So, I mean, then, Izzy just wrecked him. and then he just hasn't been the same since. But well, who knows? Maybe he surprises us.
He's gonna get that secret juice formula just right.
But all I know is if I'm fucking Paulo Costa, I am juicing off that secret juice right now. I have an IV hooked to my fucking veins every second of every day. I'm traveling around with a little fucking cart. It's the secret juice with the little pouch, needles in my arm. That's what I'm doing my entire fight camp. I don't give a fuck that's getting in the way of you striking. You are injecting this fucking secret juice into you for this entire fight camp.
On the plane to get there, you just see the suitcase with just an IV coming up.
Even as he's walking down to the octagon, he should still be hooked up to that IV. As he's going to weigh in, he should be hooked up to that IV. He needs all the secret juice he could get for this one. So, that's another match. That's the match with the middleweights. We also have another match with the middleweights. Jack Hermansson's back. He hasn't fought in like a year, maybe two. And last time he fought, he got fucked on, if I remember correctly. Let's see. No, he actually fucked on someone else. Giggity. But,
When was it?
it was in February 2024. He won against Joe Pyfer. So he's still been out for about a year, though.
Yeah, a couple months.
A year and a few months, because it's going to be June by the time these two guys fight. So, to be honest, Jack Hermansson's very well versed on the ground. He's not as well versed on the feet. He does have one hell of a fucking leg kick, though. That's for sure. He's gonna take your legs out. He's got some pretty good body kicks too. He can throw some hands, but not as well as other people in his division. He ain't no fucking Robert Whitaker. That's for damn sure. But
How was Whitaker?
Whitaker, I mean, he seems to be doing all right. I mean, I know he got the teeth knocked into the back of his skull, but he seems to be doing all right these days. I mean, he was just training with Izzy not that long ago, which is funny because Izzy and Robert Whitaker used to like fucking hate each other. But you know, competition's competition. Jack Hermansson is well versed on the ground, but he's going up against the fucking immovable object that is Gregory Rodriguez. Gregory Robocop Rodriguez.
Oh, RoboCop.
Yeah, we love
see him out and about.
Yeah, I fucking love RoboCop, man. I think he lost his last time out, if I remember correctly, but it wasn't. It was after like winning a lot. Yeah, he lost to Cannonier, round 4 KO after going on a 3-fight winning streak. So yeah, but yeah, regardless though, RoboCop is probably. I don't know who has the grappling advantage here. The power advantage is definitely going to Rodriguez. That's for sure. But I don't know. Hermansson's good at getting legs and arms. I don't see him getting many chokes. I see Rodriguez getting all of it, but he usually prefers to get it done with some devastating ground and pound. So, I mean, based off that, I'm going to have to say my boy Robocop for this. But Jack Hermansson, the Jack the Joker, man, he's fucking good. And I think he goes unnoticed by a lot of people for just how good he actually is. Ever since he lost to Sean Strickland that one time, he really hasn't had much like positive press as of late. And this is very much a "what have you done for me lately" type of sport than "what have you done in the past." So, I mean, could go either way, but I'm gonna edge out a Gregory Rodriguez victory. I think he wants to bounce back because he was within a couple of fights. If he had beat Cannonier right there, he would have been in the upper echelon of middleweight. Then he would have been within like pissing distance of fucking of a title shot, you know. So I don't know. How do you feel about Hermansson and Rodriguez going at it?
So the thing is, I've seen more from RoboCop.
He's a far more active fighter.
So I'm gonna go with him.
Yeah, Hermansson tends to
but
fight like.
That's probably gonna be dependent on this coming month, and if I go back and check out more on them. So I'm gonna hold off on like giving an actual thing, but I like RoboCop better.
Yeah. And next up we have the heavyweights going at it. We have Johonata Diniz and Justin Tafa. Haven't seen Tafa fight in a little while. I think his last fight was against fucking Shui. God damn it, what's his name?
Tai Tuivasa.
Yep, that's his name. I said I would do a Shui if he had won that match. He didn't win that match, and to be honest, it was pretty fucking boring. So I thought somebody was getting knocked out in that fight. Nobody got knocked out in that fight. So,
How do you feel about Ty?
uh, I don't know, man. Tai Shuivasa had one hell of a year, 2021, 22. That was a one generational run, but then he got fucking clocked by Cyril Gahn, and he just hasn't been the same since then. Which, that's fair. You got clocked by Cyril Gahn, and when Cyril Gahn decides to actually, show up, be motivated, and actually fight, and actually, put on a good performance, he's dangerous as shit. So I mean, and he decided to fight that day. And unfortunately, Taito Ivasa was the victim.
He was on the receiving end of that.
Yep. So, I don't know. I can't really give you a prediction for this just based off of both of these guys haven't done much for me lately. But I think Tafa's a pretty chill guy. I'd go golfing with him. So I'll go with Tafa for now.
I got Tafa at the moment, but
All
could
right.
change.
We have Vivian Araujo and Tracy Cortez going at it. Tracy Cortez is back after getting fucking clocked by Rose Namajunas, I'm pretty sure. That was her last time fighting. Let me double check. She's
Would,
31.
would any of you hold being clocked by Rose Namajunas against her?
No. If you get clocked by Rose Namajunas, that's okay. I'd get clocked by her too. Yeah, she hasn't. Yeah, it was Rose her last time out. But that was after a 4-fight winning streak. So Tracy Cortez, still as dangerous as she can be. And to be honest, Vivian Araujo's on her way out, man. She's getting old. And I think the sport's starting to move past her a little bit.
You see this as a pick-me-up fight for her?
I think it could be a pick-me-up fight for Tracy Cortez because I think the UFC wants to invest into Tracy Cortez because, well, she's really good. And,
When we say the UFC, by the way, we are not really referring too much to the fans so much as the people in charge of the organization itself.
yeah, we're more talking about, like, the fucking people at Endeavor. We're
Yeah.
talking about Dana White. Well, maybe not so much Dana White because Dana White usually just does what Endeavor tells him to do. We're talking more TKO, Endeavor type deal. And I can definitely tell you that Endeavor, the TKO's telling Endeavor to tell Dana White to make sure Tracy looks good. So, because I think the UFC wants to invest a lot more in Tracy Cortez. She's young, she's exciting, she's pretty, and she's marketable. So, I mean, and when you're in a predominantly male-based sport, I hate to say it, but that's just what happens. Unfortunately, sometimes your fighting ability doesn't necessarily get you to where you need to be, and that can even be the case for like just hype trains in general. Why the fuck is Sean O'Malley getting another title shot? But
Yeah.
UFC doesn't always make the best and most educated decisions. They go off of marketability, and to be honest, Tracy Cortez is exciting. She's pretty, and she's extremely marketable because she's also Hispanic, so they tap into that market, which is a growing market within MMA and UFC and the world in general, because a lot of their nations are becoming more developed, so they have more money. So, therefore, the UFC goes, I want that money. That's why they do so many like Mexican heritage things. So, which I'm not mad at. I like that shit. I like celebrating cultures. I think that's a great thing. It's what makes America America, right? So, but that's my feelings on Tracy Cortez here, and I think it's a pick me up. So, what you thinking?
I'm with you in agreement there, and yeah, capitalism loves marketability, so 100% agreement there. Unfortunately, when it comes to marketability and whatnot, people who should and shouldn't get or not get something, like let's say a rematch for a title, just throwing it out there, it might happen. Unfortunately, that's more likely to shine in. Let's just throw it out. Let's say you're Irish,
Mm-hmm.
just to get more people from them to invest in you, to get more money to grow. It's like exponentially feeding itself. I don't know why those thoughts just came to my head there, but yeah, with things being developed as they are, I'm definitely saying that Cortez is being fed, which is alright because Cortez is marketable, and the more we get to see of someone and the better they do, the better in turn it shows for MMA. And what I wanted to differentiate there specifically is when we say UFC, we mean the corporate overlords, we'll just say that. I think the UFC fans, we can all see this pretty clearly,
You don't
and
hide it
we're
very
just
well.
here for the ride.
Yeah, you guys just don't. You guys don't really hide that very well. Like we know what you're doing. You know, like we're not fucking stupid. Alright? Like we're not fucking dumb. We know what you're doing. But now we're not arguing about it. You still put on like you sell holy shit moments for a living, and I completely understand why you do these things. But just saying, you guys aren't too good at hiding that shit. It's not a bad thing. Don't get me wrong. I mean, we're marketed to all the goddamn time. We live in a capitalist society. So, I mean, that's just how it rolls. So, I mean, but I'm not mad at it. We're just kind of here to be like, okay, let's let money talk and let's see what happens. But that can also lead to a lot of fan turnover rates. So, watch out for that. It's not going to turn me over. I'm a pretty loyal UFC boy to this point, and I fucking love the company and will support what they do. I sacrifice all of my Saturday nights as a 21-year-old male to watch UFC fights, okay? So, I mean, I sacrifice my paychecks to Dana White whenever there's a pay-per-view in town and it's my month.
He
Like,
does a whole ritual. There's like 5 candles. He has the paycheck right there with you. It's strange.
it's a
It's a
strange little
strange.
seance, but it's a seance nonetheless. But, you know, that's just how it rolls around here, you know? I am a pretty loyal UFC boy. I usually cut all my weekend plans to watch UFC fights. Is that harming my young adulthood? Maybe. But I don't give a fuck. It's what I like. So,
All depends on perspective. Instead of saying he's not harming it, you're finding more people interested in your perspective.
exactly. And plus, I've met a lot of cool people by saying that I'm a UFC fan, you know?
Like people who might be training with, champions.
Yeah! Like my boy Kyle Bowler, who's got a fight confirmed, by the way, out in New York at the end of this month. I kind of want to go. Oh, it's so real, but I don't know if they sell tickets at the door. So I don't know. I don't want to take a whole ass train ride just to be like, oh yeah, sorry, we don't sell them at the door. Should have. Yeah, but then again, I guess I could just buy it online right outside. But fuck it. More to come. More to come. But yeah. Moving on, we got I think that's all the confirmed fights for UFC 317. Obviously, 318 got announced some time ago. I think we already touched on this, but Dustin Poirier, Max Holloway, The Last Dance for Dustin Poirier for the BMF title. And I want to talk about the BMF title. Assume Dustin wins and becomes the BMF champion. Do they let him take the belt with him, or will he vacate it and they keep it in another division? Or
um.
does it go away with him? Assuming he wins. Obviously, Max Holloway's gonna walk in the fucking park.
So it definitely doesn't go away with him. It's very good for making matches that wouldn't otherwise be made. What happens is, I would say, if he wins, he gets to retire with the belt, and then there's just a new one for someone else, and then he'll always be like in the annals halls of BMF champion.
Hmm.
And then we set up a fight that people have wanted to see, but that couldn't be really justified for the new BMF belt, and that co-mains pay per view.
Or he could even main event if the name value's there. Plus, I think this if Dustin wins, this is an opportunity to move the fucking belt to another division. Like, you know what I mean? I mean, obviously, we have all the most of the bad motherfuckers are in the 145, 55, 70 range.
Yep.
But you can move the division. You can move it to fucking light heavyweight. Make Jan Blachowicz and Yuri Prohaska go at it for it or something like that. You know what I mean? I think it could be an opportunity to move the belt because the thing that's special. Look, I know a lot of UFC fans are like, "Oh, the BMF title's stupid. It means nothing." I think it means something. You know, I think it's a worthy thing to keep in the UFC. I think it's a additional marketing tool, first of all, which I think that's the
They love.
I think the business execs are really gonna love me on that one. But love your company, by the way. If you want my resume, I'll email it to you. But I just had it done by one of my friends, a graphic designer, so it's great. But as not only is it more marketable, but you can make badass fights with just a little bit more stakes to it. I mean, think about all the fights that have happened with this goddamn BMF title. And you tell me that you think it's stupid? Nate Diaz, Jorge Masvidal. Come on, that was a fucking great fight. You got fucking Justin Gaethje, Dustin Poirier. That was a great fight. You got fucking some of the greatest moments in fucking MMA history, recent MMA history, have happened in BMF title fights. The secondary Salt Lake City head kick from Justin Gaethje on Dustin Poirier. The fucking war that was Nate Diaz and Jorge Masvidal that main evented the Madison Square Garden pay-per-view. And then, obviously, the greatest knockout in UFC history with Max Holloway and Justin Gaethje. And all of this in the name of the BMF title. Why wouldn't you keep it? I think it means something. I think the UFC, it means that you are a badass motherfucker. Obviously, bad motherfucker title. You are a badass that puts on exciting fights, and we're gonna put you in there with another fucking badass that's gonna go balls to the wall with it. Because let's be honest, there are some fighters that are very technically sound that wouldn't really fall under the BMF category. But then there are motherfuckers that are dogs and they can fit in the BMF title. And I think it's something that somebody can fight for. I think it's something that adds more stakes. Obviously, all these guys are prize fighters. They're fighting over a goddamn golden belt. Like, you know what I mean? A fucking golden belt that really has no meaning outside the UFC. But doesn't matter. They're fighting over a belt and we go crazy for it. And if you can just make another shiny belt, people are gonna fucking buy it. I think the BMF title is a great thing. That could be my MMA hot take. A lot of people will say that it's a stupid thing, useless. I mean, we have Islam Makhachev on record saying it stands for the bum motherfucker belt because nobody that can get the real title fights for the BMF belt. But does that really matter? A lot of moments and like awesome fights in UFC history have been in the name of the BMF title. So I say keep it, even if Dustin wins. Like, he'll retire the BMF champion, but then you vacate the belt, and then you put two other motherfuckers going at it. And I
Yep.
think it's just another, like, cool thing having the UFC. But then again, I'm a WWE fan who likes all these kind of things, who likes multiple championships. I mean, we have like 6 different belts you can win. So, I mean, I just think the BMF title is great because, and plus, just the fights that have happened in it alone is enough to make the belt more prestigious than it already is. Like, market, like, maybe not so much the fight anymore, but if you want to keep the BMF title, market the BMF title. Like, the everything that's happened in the name of it. You know, sometimes those BMF title fights are better than some championship fights. So, I mean, I say keep it. I don't know. What did you think about the BMF belt?
Yeah. BMF belt is definitely a great championship and a good tool to be used because it also helps pit fighters that wouldn't go against each other in regular everyday work life. Because like with Holloway Gaethje specifically, they before the BMF belt, they're from two different divisions. They're both really fucking good, and they both are just a hair away from that title fight. Like I could definitely have seen Gaethje versus Islam, and I could definitely have seen Max versus Volk. These are fights that are always good to see. But when you take into account Max versus Volk, that's happened quite a few times.
3 times.
Volk held down that fucking division. So tell me, if you've got someone that good as number two, how do you let them shine? Same thing with Islam Gaethje. If you have a fighter that fucking good with a champion that fucking dominant, at the moment they're in their fucking heyday. They're in perfect time. They're in the golden spot of their career. How can you highlight that? I think that's what the BMF belt is good for.
Yeah. And it's such a good tool. I love the BMF belt. We love the BMF belt here on the on the Front Row Access
I like
podcast.
it a lot more than that hardcore belt that WWE has.
Yeah, why the fuck does Travis Scott have that shit?
I don't know. I just want to
Why was Travis Scott in the main event of WrestleMania and not The Rock?
I just want to make sure that people know that that dude is the cause of 11 deaths. So
Yeah, facts.
just wanted to make sure y'all know that.
Like, stop the fucking show, man. Anyway, but that's a big fight, and I know we talked a lot more about BMF than we did the actual fight. We'll get more on that fight as it gets closer. That's July 19th. It's quite some time away from now. So, well, maybe not quite some time, but a decent amount of time.
That's like 7, 8 podcasts away
Just about, yeah.
every week.
Another fight that got confirmed. I love how you asked about Whitaker earlier, and I totally neglected to tell you this. Whitaker has a fight confirmed.
Okay.
And it is against RDR. It's against Rainer DeRitter. So,
right.
I mean, Rainer DeRitter just came off a fucking crazy victory against Bo Nickel. Fucking fraud. Check the piss out of him.
Even if you had to rewatch it.
Huh?
Even if you had to rewatch it.
Yeah, I had to rewatch it. I was sleepy boy when it happened live. I was passed out. Had one too many beers that night.
Yeah, you had 7, I had 8.
You fucker.
Yep, I'm keeping count just to set that record.
You fucker. Man, I was fucking sleeping. I was going.
Hey, Quinn was there with you. He was also. You guys had 7 beers. I had 8 that night, and then I left.
Yeah, and meanwhile, Quinn and I fucking dead. Got fucking
Had
plastered.
to rewatch it the next day.
Had to rewatch it the next day. But what I saw was Rainer DeRitter fraud checking the piss out of Bo Nickel. And
There are levels.
to be honest, even if I'm RDR, I think that's why he jumped into another fight so quickly. Even as the winner of that fight, that win wasn't very great. It looked bad. It looked kind of sloppy.
So it's sloppy in one regard, but you also got to keep in mind that the name in and of itself says something. He beat Bo Nickel. Bo Nickel is that guy.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So he beat that guy.
Yeah, true. And I think wanting a better performance, yeah, Rainer DeRitter is going up against Robert Whitaker. And that's like crazy because if you beat Robert Whitaker, you're pretty much next in line for a title shot.
Yeah, that's a scary fucking jump.
So, going from no Bickle to Robert Whitaker's a little worrisome for RDR.
I feel like that's like jumping from 12th to 3rd.
It's kind of what that feels like, yeah. Because, I mean, think about it. Everybody that's beaten Robert Whitaker in the past have gotten a title shot. Fucking Dracus Duplessis knocked him out. Got a title shot. Fucking Hamzat Chimaev knocks his teeth into the back of his skull. Squeezes the teeth into the back of his skull, should I say. And got a title shot. Which, it's another fight that got confirmed. Spoilers. But Dracus Duplessis and Hamzat Chimaev, that is confirmed. But we'll get into that in just a minute. Sharapudin Magomedov, or Shara Bullet, facing Marc-Andre Barrault, who just fought last weekend. A lot of quick turnarounds for these guys. But to be honest, Marc-Andre didn't take any injuries. Rainer DeRitter didn't take any injuries. So, fuck it, they're good to go.
Yeah, it all depends on how much damage you take.
And
Some
both guys
people fight, with 3 weeks in between. Some people fight with, 9 months in between. You know, it all depends.
All depends. And then also we have Nikita Krylov back on the proving ground against Bogdan Guskov. I think this is a tune-up fight for Nikita Krylov. He's been taking some L's as of late. But yeah, those are some, that's, July 26th, so that's way far out. And then UFC 319 just got confirmed. Saturday, August 16th, Dracus Duplessis, Hamzat Chimaev. Hamzat Chimaev finally gets a title shot. But dude only fights once a year. So, and we've been waiting on this title shot from Hamzat Chimaev for about 4 years now. We thought he was going to have it at welterweight. Then he missed weight, trying to face Nate Diaz. Then he had to fucking face Kevin Holland. And then after that, he leaves the division. And he goes and he fights. Let's look at Hamzat Chimaev's path to title as of late. Now, this guy's a destroyer. Not taking anything away from him. But let's see, after he beats Kevin Holland, he goes away for a year, comes back to face Usman, and wins by majority decision. And then goes away for another year, comes back, fights Robert Whitaker, and then goes away for a long time, and now he's back.
Is he also known as Halloween, by chance?
Yeah. He tends to come back around Halloween. I don't know why. That fight that he was supposed to have against fucking Nate Diaz ended up being against Kevin Holland. Was in September, but it's just, damn, brother. You don't fight all that frequently. We've been waiting for you to get a title shot since, I would say, 2022. 2021, we were already talking about you fighting for a title in the future. And we thought if you beat Nate Diaz, which we all knew you were gonna, if you were to fight him, then you'd probably get a title shot. But then you went and missed weight, and then had to fight Kevin Holland, and then moved up a division.
See, this is a big problem that the fans of UFC, I'm going to say myself, express having in their fighters. Activity. Because say he got a championship, you got to wait another year to see him defend it. And like we always say, we like active champions. You can be that good. I just would love to see more of it instead of having to wait and set like a calendar date that I'm waiting for in 3 months, and then for God's sake, something happened like you miss weight or
Or
an
you pull out the
injury
fight, or
pulls
something
out.
like that.
It's not a good look. It's not something to look forward to.
Nope. But that's all the fight announcements that we've had. And to be honest, at this point, man, usually I would say Hamzat Chimaev without a doubt. But god damn it, Dracus du Plessis has just made a career off of doing the fucking impossible. So, I mean, we didn't think he was going to beat Derek Brunson. Beats Derek Brunson. Didn't think he was going to... No, surely he's not getting past Darren Till. Beats Darren Till. Oh, he's not going to beat Whitaker. What do you mean, beats Whitaker? He's not going to beat Sean Strickland. Sean Strickland just beat Izzy. Beats Sean Strickland. Oh, man. No way. No way, Izzy. No way he beats Izzy. Izzy's back. He wants to prove himself. Beats Izzy. This motherfucker has made a career off of being the guy that shouldn't win but wins. So, I mean, I think he's got plot armor to this point. I think dude's got some plot armor. So will it hold up against the other guy that has a lot of plot armor? And Hamzat Chimaev. It's like the immovable object and the unstoppable force. Both unlikely to be in these positions, and now they're gonna fight it out. I'm expecting explosive movements within the first, I'd say in the first 30 seconds of the match, Hamzat Chimaev is going to shoot for a takedown. I might even say the first 15 seconds, he's going to shoot for a takedown. I'm expecting high amounts of activity from Hamzat Chimaev in that first round because we all know the scariest thing on planet Earth next to next to death is fucking Hamzat Chimaev in the first round. That's the scariest motherfucker ever. The scariest thing on planet Earth is Hamzat Chimaev, round one. Pound for pound best fighter in the world. No doubt about it. I'm not even lying. You laughing at me, but you know it's true. You know it's true. So, I'm expecting high amounts of activity from Hamzat Chimaev in the first rounds. Now, it's a matter of, can Dracus hang in there? Because I think if it goes the distance, Hamzat Chimaev's cardio is trash. So, I mean, it's fucking trash. But that's why he fucking blows his whole load in the first round. So, I mean...
Hey, you don't need to go to round two if you take care of it in round one.
Exactly. But it's a matter of, can Dracus handle it? And I, honest to God, think, based off of what Dracus has done in the past, I think he could. So this is a crazy... This is crazy. I don't know. This fight, it shouldn't be as unpredictable as it is. Usually, I should just be up here telling you, Hamzat Chimaev by round one submission. But I just can't confidently say that. With Dracus du Plessis getting away with murder, essentially.
Well, then you can just say it like this. Hamzat Chimaev, round one. Round two and up, it's all Dracus.
Yep. That's, honest to God, what it could end up being. And if there's one, this is definitely going to be Dracus' hardest challenge to date. Izzy was the original one. He conquered that one. And every single time he's had an upper level of competition, he's evolved. And he's somehow won, despite looking like shit in the process. Like, he is the worst but best fighter ever. He's the best worst fighter.
And the worst best fighter.
And the worst best fighter. Like, how this motherfucker got a championship, I don't fucking know. But he did. So, shit, dude. I cannot tell you a prediction for this one. But luckily, I have until August 16th. Well, not really. August, probably, to that point, probably like August 9th.
Yeah.
Because we usually try to do pay-per-views a week out. I have until about August 9th to make my decision. So we got some time.
And then August 15th, he won't make weight.
Oh, God. So until then, I will just say this fight not happening. I'm gonna default to my normal. Whenever Hamzat Chimaev's on a card, this fight's not happening. Just like I do with John Jones, fight's not happening. Just like I do with Paulo Costa, fight's not happening. Even though I was talking about that Paulo Costa fight against fucking Kopylov earlier, that fight's not gonna happen. All right, it's just not happening.
Gotta be in the octagon with the bell having rung and a ref there.
Yep. If it's none of that, it's not happening. So, that's all the fight announcements. God damn, we've got a lot to go over. But Ant, before I go ahead and close this out, what are your thoughts on DDP and Hamzat here?
My thoughts are exactly what I told you. Hamzat, round 1, round 2 and up, DP all day.
Crazy fucking shit. Well, I ain't got nothing else. You got anything else?
Sponsor us, dude.
Please. We made a little pyramid for you. We got these 2 extra auxiliaries here. We have the fridge. Anyway, guys, go ahead and follow all of our social medias. It's some rendition of Front Row Access on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Not Facebook, because fuck Facebook. And we'll see y'all next time.
Signing off.